Hello everyone, today we will have quite a special subject. As you can see, it's US motor grader, and this model is from Plus model made in Czech Republic. As you can see, it's 135 scale kit. Moreover, it's a resin kit, so it contains 236 resin parts, photo sheet, and also decals for 2 variants, and also it includes photo CD guide, as you can see. It's packed into a quite small box. You can see comparison with my hand. I mean, I personally was expecting bigger packaging. As you can see, the packaging is quite simple. We have stickers on the sides and on the top part. That's a top opening box. Straight away on the front we have assembly manual, which is printed on the glossy paper in small, I would say, scale. And inside we will find assembly instructions with parts numbers and arrows showing what we have to do and where we have to install this or that part. Quite an interesting manual. Here we have camouflages and marking options. As you can see, one is in olive drab and another one is also in olive drab. And here also parts labeling. As you can see, it's quite detailed kit. We will see it further in the review when we will open contents. Here we have photo CD, which contains photo reference guide. I think it should be useful for the modelers who are striving for even higher detalization. Then we have resin parts. Let's move box to the side and check all those components one by one. There are plenty of them, so this review will be quite long, I think. Okay. Let's begin from the big ones. Of course, this is chassis and wheels and suspension parts, which are mostly molded as one-piece elements, so you won't have to glue like two halves together. You just have a simple element and you glue it to another one. Of course, there is plenty of resin flash, but I think it's not serious because of the nature of the kit. Moreover, we can clean it easily, so it shouldn't be a serious problem. So, let me zoom the camera and we will check them one by one. So here we have chassis part. As you can see, it's molded quite nicely. It has, of course it's noticeable, it has some resin flash, but I think it's more in order to prevent this thin and quite breakable parts from breaking away. And here is another one. Then we have wheels. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wheels. You can see them here. Very nice detalization, no writings on the walls, but quite nice tire pattern and also detalization of the rims, as you can see. The same applies to other type of the wheels. Then we have small drivetrain parts. Just give me a sec to clean a bit, because resin flash is present and it breaks away, so matte is a bit dirty. So here we have another parts. Again, nice molding quality, and I mean, I have nothing to complain about here. Of course you have to do some cleaning job, but I think that's not the kit which you would expect. Here is a similar part which we saw before. Not the kit which you would from which you would expect quite simple assembly. I mean, of course it's advanced model and it's not definitely not a weekend project. So here is one bag. I will cover it with plastic bag. Then we have another one. It contains even more parts. Just give me a second. Okay, here we have it. So here we have those parts, for example. You can see front grill with Caterpillar written on it, and it looks quite nice. I mean, even the mesh looks more or less realistic, and you won't need any PE parts, I would say. Here is another one for the rotating part. Then we have, I think, let's call it Cockpit Tube, Cockpit base. Also quite nice. And it's really surprising that this huge part is molded as one piece. Then we have plenty of small parts which will go into the cabin, I suppose. Here you can see them. Everything is molded maximally carefully, and I mean, it's obvious on the video that parts are really detailed. Here we have more parts. And even more parts. And don't forget that this kit features 235 parts, so you can imagine that even the tiniest element is molded out of the resin and molded as a separate part. I think that will give you a possibility to have maximum detalization, which will be possible in 35 scale. Moreover, it will make it easier to paint the model, I think. And here we have grader parts, which will help it clean the road, I would say. Also quite nice ones, and they're molded as one piece again. Okay, we go next. Next is a bag which contains various engine parts, I suppose. Just give me a second. These are very tiny ones, so I think it's worth showing the main block and also some other big parts. And I would propose that you can check all parts on our website in full article review. Here you can see the engine block. Really nice one. And here is another part which I wanted to show you. Also quite nicely molded. Okay. Or I can show them one by one, and I think it's easy to understand which part will go where. So, and it's quite obvious that engine in this model will be very detailed. So you will have plenty of work to do on it. Here are another bases. And even more. And more. Some of them are similar, so they're molded like in pairs or even in 4 pieces. You can see some of the parts here. As you can see, some of them are really small and they will require tweezers in order to apply them precisely on the model. So for the third bag, let's open fourth one. What's interesting, because this model is long-awaited release and the demand for this kit is really high. I mean, if you expect it to be available easily for the order, I think you're a bit wrong, because not you alone want to buy this kit. And of course it's not an easy process to mold all those resin parts, especially considering the amount of those parts in the kit. But I think it's absolutely worth waiting. And I think currently it's available on the Plus model, so you shouldn't have problem with ordering this quite nice kit for your project. Just give me a second to pick up all the parts and show them to you. I mean, amount of the parts is really crazy. And you have to separate them carefully, I mean, in order not to lose some of the bits. Of course, it's not like in some plastic kits, but I mean, that's a grader, and grader doesn't feature pretty much. For example, these ones. Even this, quite an interesting element, which I will show you. Here are other 3 bases with parts. Very tiny parts, so get ready for some careful assembly. And here is another one. More of the parts. And even more, even steering wheel and some mechanical elements, some minor elements and some engine parts. You can see them all here. The only point which I want to mention here is that all those parts are packed into one bag, but all bags are packed into foam bags. So I think there shouldn't be a problem that you will receive a damaged kit or any other problem will occur with your US grader. As you can see in mine, everything is intact, and it arrived to me via just simple post, so post delivery. So I think possible damage is not a main concern with this kit. And here one handful of the parts which are the final in the 4th bag, and we move on to the final 5th bag, which is quite simple, so I will show it fast. Just give me a second. Okay, so we have here minor parts. We have here even transparent resin parts for the headlights, obviously, and minor parts once again. I mean, for me it's really surprising the amount of those tiny parts in this kit. It's 35 scale, but I mean, every tiny bit is carefully copied in the resin. All other parts, I suppose, are quite similar, and there is not that much need to show them to you one by one. They are similar to those two handfuls which I showed now. So anyway, you can check like all photos of all parts on our website in our review article. But that's all for the fifth bag, and now let's move on back to the box, because in the box there is also PE parts. You can see them here. I think they're produced in cooperation with Bringan. Moreover, we have here decal sheet and also the metal rope, which should be also useful for your model making. So that's all for today. I would like to thank you for watching this quite long review, and I think article won't be shorter, so I recommend to check it. And anyway, thanks again for watching, and don't forget to press like button below and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.